Hi friends, it's Deanna here today, and today I've got a fun hack for you. A couple of weeks ago, we hacked the Candi swim dress into separates. Well, we worked on the skirt and we made the skirt a separate. I'm here today to show you how to turn it into a tankini, like the one I'm wearing right now. It is so cute, and when I tell you, it is so simple to hack. You're gonna be like, yes, I can do this, and I love how it looks. So, let's get started. Okay, so here are my swimsuit pieces. They are already cut out. So this would be my whole piece. This right here, this line right here, is where you can add my waist adjustment line here, and this is my hip adjustment line here. We're adding height. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to show you how I'm going to do just the tankini option. If you can see here, the back bodice is a straight line. So when I'm doing my back bodice, all I'm going to do is add whatever length you want to add to your bodice. Now, if you want it to be just a short at the waist, where your pattern has a waistline, if you want it to reach the waist, then that's how long you want it to be. But if you want it to be longer, you want to add, you're going to add just how much length you want to add to it. Now, for the front, if you can see here, my front it dips down because this accommodates for a better fit of the skirt. Since this dips down, that's not a straight line. We want to make a straight line so our bodice is straight. So what I'm going to do is I can either fold it up so it's straight. Now I have a straight line here, or you can draw a straight line so it just continues to be just a straight line here on the bodice. Now that is straight, I can add whatever length. So if you grab your back bodice and you place it right sides together, here's the armpit. This is my armpit area, this is my armpit area of my bodice back and my armpit area of my bodice front, and we place them together on top of each other. You see that the length is now the same from armpit to the bottom of the bodice. You see how now that's the same when you get rid of this curve here? So what we're going to do is we're going to add the same amount of length to the front and the back. So if I want this to be, and what you can do too, if you're not sure, you can measure from your armpit area all the way down, and remember you have a 1/4 inch seam allowance. So you're gonna take off a 1/4 inch seam allowance. So you're gonna measure from your armpit down, you're gonna measure from your armpit down and see how long you want it. All right, so what you wanna do is you wanna measure from your armpit, where it's going to land, down to where you want it to go. So mine's about 10 inches. I want it to go down about 10 inches because I want it kind of above the belly button. And so if you want to go down 10 inches and I measure mine and mine was 8 inches, then that means that that's an extra 2 inches. Then you got to account for hem allowance, and I want a 1/2 inch for hem allowance. So that means 10 inches and a half. But I also have a 1/4 inch seam allowance here, which means it goes up a 1/4 inch because the seam allowance gets taken out. So I'm gonna do 10 inches plus the plus the 1/2 inch seam allowance plus the 1/4 inch seam allowance for the armpit. So it's gonna be 10 and a quarter. Sorry, I'm like 10 and a quarter. But I already have 8, so I don't have to add 10 and a quarter. I just have to add 2 and 3/4. 2 and 3/4, not 10 and a quarter, 10 and 3/4. So I would just have to add 2 and 3/4 length to the bodice. Now there's another issue with that. Your body, as it goes lower, it gets wider. If you were to look at the bottom of the suit, it flares out. So I'm gonna show you what I mean by that. All right, now I've placed my bodice, this is my bodice, onto my fabric. And here is my line, but I didn't add anything to it. I folded down that curved edge, okay? And if you see from the armpit down, it's on mine is 8 inches, like I just mentioned. So if I'm gonna go to 10 inches, and then I'm gonna add the 1/2 inch seam allowance, and I'm gonna subtract from up here the 1/4 inch, so I'm adding another 1/4 inch, so there's that. If I grab, this is my front, this is my bottom piece, okay? If I'm adding a couple of inches to this, okay, here's my front, I've got this piece right here, okay? And if you can see here, if I add them together, look at how much wider it is. So if I was gonna go to 10 and a half, I would be spacing out. Your body here narrows at the waist and comes back out. So you need to make sure that you're coming out so it's not going to be super tight all the way down, depending on how much length you're adding. The more length you're adding, the more flare you got to come out. You see that? It flares out. So I'm going to add I'm gonna have to actually move this because I want to have more room to flare out. Okay, so I've got my top bodice, I've got the bottom here, okay, and I'm going to go 10 inches, 10 3/4 inches, so it's about right there. I'm gonna overlap it a little bit so it's just right. 10 3/4. So then I'm just gonna cut around here, and I might blend this out a little bit because as a swimsuit it comes really tight here at the waist for me. I need to kind of flare out a little bit because I went from medium to large here. So I'm just gonna kind of blend it here as I go and go down and cut that front piece. And then I'll have to do exactly the same thing for the back piece. So here's the back piece. Now I don't have to fold anything, but I'm gonna place it together, and I'm gonna actually place the bottom here. See, this is the whole thing. And what I'm going to do is I'm gonna go from here, from the armpit, and actually this is the center, this is the armpit, from the armpit down 10 inches, 10 3/4, so it'll be like right here, and then I can cut around that as well, and that will be my back. So that's my front, this is my back, then I have to cut my lining, and that's for the tankini. Now if I'm going to be making the if I'm gonna be making it into a solid swimsuit, I'm gonna do the same thing, but the first thing you have to do is measure out your waist seam allowance. So you need to make sure that you've got that right. Now you don't have to really worry about this right here. This is kind of accommodating for that skirt, but if you see right here, the side is the same. This side is the same here. So when you attach it, it goes all the same around. So you need to make sure that your waist, your side waist length is the right length. So that's the most important part. What you can do is, if you want this top piece, I would blend in, and I'm not doing this today because I'm just doing the tankini, but I wanted to give you this option. You can grab another bathing suit pattern. You can grab like the Bethany swimsuit, okay? And because if you want what you want is the bodice to the neckline to be the same and everything else to be the same, you would just place it right on top. Mine is in pieces because I have to split it up, and use it as a template for the bottom of the dress. You don't have to worry about the top. You want the top for the Candi, but you want the bottom to be the same as the Bethany, just a one piece. So then I would match up the top of the Candi to the bottom of the Bethany, and they match up pretty well. And then that would become my one-piece swimsuit. And obviously you have to adjust for, you know, your body or whatever, if you need to add it for the trunk length or whatever, but that's how I would become it into a one-piece swimsuit. I would do the same for the back. So I would grab the Bethany, the back of the Bethany, and I would place the back of the bodice of the Candi and put them together and mash them into one bathing suit. Because I'm just doing the tank, I'm just gonna go ahead and continue on making that tank by adding this middle piece. Oh, this is the front. This is not the one I need. Right here. And I'm gonna cut that out. And this is gonna be my front piece. All right, now that we've got everything cut out, here's the easy part. You're just going to sew it just like you would sew the swimsuit. If you're doing the whole swimsuit one piece, you could go over to the Bethany swimsuit tutorial and you would sew it up just like we do over there, obviously omitting the cutouts on the sides if you don't want the cutouts. If you wanted the cutouts, you can still add that. If you're doing the tankini version, you would just sew the first part before you attach it to the skirt. So you would sew up the bodice top and the lining to the bodice top, and then we're gonna go ahead and finish it up. So I'm gonna go ahead and do all that. If you want help with that, go ahead and check out the Candi swimsuit tutorial and do that first part there, and then come back here and let's finish it up. All right, we are basically done with our swimsuit. So we've put it all together, we're done the elastic and everything. The only thing we have that we haven't finished is the bottom. Now there's, like I mentioned earlier, 2 ways to finish this bottom. You can go ahead and just fold over and top stitch if that's what you want your bottom to look like. Or you can have elastic at the bottom of your swimsuit as well. If you wanted it to cinch in at the waist, like if you're not making a long one, if you're just making it like a short tank or like a short tankini, and you wanted to have that elastic at the end, you would put the elastic here at the bottom, and you would do it just like your waistband elastic that you do for the lining. Since I'm not doing that, since I did do the lining and I already have the waistband, all I have left to do is to hem the bottom of this. Then I'm gonna try it on and show you what it looks like. So let's finish it up and let's try it on. All right, we're done. Did I not tell you it was going to be super easy? I love how this turned out, and I'm definitely making some more. It doesn't even take that much fabric because it's just a simple tankini. Now, the only thing that you need to do if you want to make it more into like a longer tank that you can wear for working out, you don't want it as short, you just have to keep adding that length like we did and spreading out so it's a little bit wider, because you get wider here at the hip area, and that's how you kind of compensate for that. But I think it looks adorable. It looks so good. I'm making so many more. My next thing is to make a Candi swim skirt, a black one to match it. I did order some black swim fabric from Boho Fabrics at the same time that I ordered this top fabric. So I'm gonna be doing that next so I can have like compare it, mix and match. It is so cute. I am obsessed. What do you think? Comment below and let me know. Are you going to try it? Was it easier than you thought? And then let me know if there's any other hacks you're like, if that was so easy, I wonder if this is just as easy. And then maybe we can try them together. I hope that you enjoy this tutorial. I'll see you all next time. Bye.